Do you believe that Pete Hegseth is the right person to lead the military?
Well, he's not been charged with anything, Kristen. I think that's important. Eliminating DEI, being more innovative in our Pentagon. There's a lot of red tape. It's failed another audit, respected agency, that has gone after Catholics. It's gone after parents who showed up to school board meetings under the auspices of the Patriot Act.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope all's good wherever you are. Before I get to the video, to the clips, I want to say a big thank you to all of you guys who have subscribed, commented, liked the videos. I might not reply to every comment as the channel grows, but I read most of them, and I learn a lot from you guys, and you guys have great jokes. I appreciate all of you. I just want to say a big thank you. I think I have the best subscribers on YouTube. That being said, Kristen Welker just took another big fat L by another Republican senator. Let's get into it. I'll give you my thoughts on the back end.
Schmidt of Missouri. Senator Schmidt, welcome to Meet the Press.
It's great to be with you just 2.5 weeks after President Trump completed the greatest political comeback in American history, winning all the battleground states, the popular vote, getting a mandate from the American people to shake things up in Washington, and look forward to helping him do that with our new majority in the Senate and with our friends in the House.
Well, it's great to have you here and to have your perspective. Let's start right there. And this decision by former Congressman Matt Gaetz to withdraw his name from consideration for Attorney General, it comes as NBC News has learned that 5 Republican senators were planning to vote against Gaetz. Do you believe it was a mistake by President-elect Trump to pick Gaetz in the first place, Senator?
Well, I think Matt Gaetz made a decision, and I respect that decision. And we're moving on now to the nominee that he's chosen, Pam Bondi, who I know very well. We come from state attorney general world. Pam has taken on the tough fights. She took on drug trafficking. She took on human trafficking. She's a tough career prosecutor. She's smart. She's tough. It's a great pick. And the Justice Department is ripe for reform. So I think President Trump is picking reformers for these cabinet positions. He campaigned on that, and he's delivering on that promise.
We are going to delve into that in just a moment. But just to stay on this issue of Matt Gaetz for a moment, given the severity of allegations he was facing, allegations of sexual misconduct, including that he had sex with a minor at a party in 2017, which he denies. But do you think that he should have been picked in the first place?
I think President Trump deserves the ability, with the mandate that he got from the American people, to put people in positions who are going to do reform. There's some things we can do in Congress, oversight and legislation, but you really need reformers at the head of these different agencies. And I think you're seeing that as a common theme. I'm sure we'll talk about more of them, but there really is a lot of reform that needs to happen in the administrative state. And he's talked about it a lot on the campaign trail. And like I said, he's delivering on that.
Well, let's talk about Pam Bondi, who we were just talking about, the former Florida Attorney General. Bondi has vowed to, quote, investigate the investigators, to prosecute the prosecutors. A different tone than you have struck, Senator. You've said that the DOJ should be, quote, going back to fighting crime and not settling political scores. How do you square those two different views?
Well, I will tell you that Pam Bondi has a track record. She's a very serious person. And I think she's seen the weaponization. Everybody's seen this weaponization of the Justice Department over the last 4 years. It really is a tragedy for a once respected agency that has gone after Catholics. It's gone after parents who showed up to school board meetings under the auspices of the Patriot Act. This is in the United States of America. And then clearly weaponized that department, Joe Biden did, and Merrick Garland, to go after their chief political opponent. And I'll tell you, Kristen, the arc of that story is really terrifying if you care about the Republic. After the midterms, Joe Biden said that there was no way President Trump would ever be back in the White House. After that speech, these zombie cases were resurrected. The number 3 person from DOJ went to New York, and you had the Alvin Bragg case. The number 2 prosecutor in Atlanta went to the White House and coordinated. You saw all these cases resurrected. They all fell apart under the weight of the law. And so I do think there needs to be accountability. I think that getting it back to crime fighting is important, but there has to be accountability for these kinds of abuses.
Okay, what specifically does accountability look like, Senator? Are you suggesting you want to see Special Counsel Jack Smith, Attorney General Merrick Garland prosecuted? Is that what you are implying?
Well, no, I think accountability means, first and foremost, the people involved in this should be fired immediately. And anybody part of this, this effort to keep President Trump off the ballot and to throw him in jail for the rest of his life because they didn't like his politics, and to continue to cast him as a quote-unquote threat to democracy was wrong. And so we'll see where that goes, but I just don't think in this country, unless we want to be a banana republic, I don't want to see that happen. You can't have the Justice Department abused in this way. Pam Bondi is a smart, capable, tough person who I think is going to restore respect in that department.
So she has your vote, Senator?
Oh, absolutely. I intend to help Pam Bondi get the votes. I know her well. She's a friend. I've come to respect Pam Bondi. She was a great attorney general in Florida. This is a home run by President Trump.
Guys, if you don't mind just smashing that thumbs up button for your boy. And also, if this is not your first time here and you're not yet subscribed, hopefully this will be the video in which I can earn your subscription. I just want to say one thing. I remember when all the nominees that Biden put through were nominated. We knew who they were. I didn't like them, but I don't remember the media. Granted, most of the media is very left-leaning, but I'm always willing to give people the chance. It's okay, let's see what they can do. Pete Buttigieg, don't like the guy, but hey, let's see what he can do. Now, if they suck after the fact, fair enough. Okay, you can criticize all you want, but give the people a chance. Give these people a chance. Trump won the election. Let him put the right people in place. If they suck, even the people on our side will say it. But give them a chance. Let's get back to the video.
All right, well, let's talk about another potential nominee. More details about the sexual assault allegation against Pete Hegseth, Mr. Trump's pick for the defense secretary. The police report filed at the time says, and I'm going to read this for you, quote, Jane Doe stated she got up and tried to leave the room, but Hegseth blocked the door with his body. Jane Doe remembered saying no a lot. Hegseth was not charged in this case. He denies any wrongdoing. But, Senator, you have a long history of fighting for sexual assault victims as Missouri's Attorney General. Does this incident raise concerns about his confirmation for you?
Well, I think that's why we have the confirmation process. Senators certainly are going to ask questions about it. They should, and he has a right to answer. What he said so far is that he did no wrong. They're baseless. And it's important to note the prosecutor didn't bring any charges. Be interesting to see if there's any other memorandum from that prosecutor that would go along with that prosecutor's decision not to charge Pete Hegseth. But I think ultimately this is a decision that President Trump made to bring in another disruptor. And I think if you look at this election, it was disruptor versus establishment. He ran on this, and there needs to be reform in the Pentagon, whether it's procurement, whether it's getting rid of divisive DEI that's dividing our military by race. There's no place in our military. I think he's talked about eliminating that, and then also making sure our focus is on our chief adversary, China.
Let me ask you, I guess, big picture, Senator. You're on the Armed Services Committee, and there's a known sexual assault problem in the military. Do you believe that Pete Hegseth is the right person to lead the military, given all of that at this very moment?
Well, he's not been charged with anything, Kristen. I think that's important. And so you read from a police report. I've not seen the police report, but again, I'd like to. There's probably more documentation around this that would be interesting to see.
So I hear you saying you have questions.
Well, of course I'm going to have questions, but that police report and no charges being brought, I think, again, answers itself. If there was, something to be done here, I'm sure the prosecutor would have pursued it. She didn't, which speaks to that issue, I think. But ultimately, the Pentagon needs reform. And I think Pete Hegseth is a guy that President Trump trusts to go do that kind of reform, eliminating DEI, being more innovative in our Pentagon. There's a lot of red tape. It's failed another audit. And I think also having somebody who's served on the front lines, who has the soldier's point of view on this would be really, really important.
Let's talk about the pick of Tulsi Gabbard for S.D.N.Y. Here is what the former UN ambassador Nikki Haley had to say about Tulsi Gabbard. Take a look.
This is not a place for a Russian, Iranian, Syrian, Chinese sympathizer. S.D.N.Y. has to analyze real threats. Are we comfortable with someone like that at the top of our national intelligence agencies?
So, Senator, what say you? Are you comfortable? Will you vote for Tulsi Gabbard?
I think it's really interesting that anybody that has a different political view now is being cast as a Russian asset. It's totally ridiculous. Tulsi Gabbard has served in our military. She served as a congresswoman from Hawaii, as a Democrat, I might add, part of this unique coalition that President Trump has put together and won and got that mandate. But I think it's insulting. It's a slur, quite frankly. There's no evidence that she's a asset of another country. She served this country honorably. And by the way, she cares deeply about our Constitution and civil liberties and making sure people aren't being targeted by these intelligence agencies. So again, I think this is a reformer who can come in, who maybe is not part of the same Washington cocktail party circuit that people in the intel community are used to, but maybe that's exactly what we need right now. President Trump listened to the American people when they screamed about these issues. They want to be heard. They feel like Washington's broken, and I think bringing somebody in like Tulsi Gabbard is a welcome news.
So you're a yes on Tulsi Gabbard, Senator, just to be clear?
I'm a yes on Pam Bondi. I'm a yes on Pete Hegseth. I'm a yes on Tulsi Gabbard. Absolutely.
I say it in
Here is what
every
the
video.
former UN ambassador Nikki Haley had to say about Tulsi Gabbard. Take a look.
Most of the picks that Trump put
This
through,
is not a
give
place
them
for
the
a
chance.
Russian,
I've been proven
Iranian,
wrong
Syrian,
a lot
Chinese
in
sympathizer.
my life on many topics.
D&I
Sometimes
has
I'm
to
wrong,
analyze
obviously.
real threats.
I'm often wrong even making
Are
these
we
videos.
comfortable
I read
with
the
someone
comments,
like
often you guys
that
correct me. Or
at the
even if I
top
have a
of our
point view,
national
you guys
intelligence
sometimes
agencies?
change my point of view.
So,
Even though
Senator, what say you?
myself
Are you
and most of the
comfortable?
people
Will
that
you
comment
vote
on this
for
channel
Tulsi
are
Gabbard?
very right-leaning. You guys changed my mind
I think
on some stuff.
it's really
So you give the
interesting
people
that
the
anybody
chance.
that has
You
a
let
different
them do the
political
job.
view
I
now
think
is being
Hegseth is
cast
gonna
as a
do great.
Russian
They're all
asset.
upset because they want
It's
women
totally
in combat.
ridiculous.
There's so
Tulsi
much that
Gabbard
comes
has
with
served in
women
our
in
military.
combat. You can
She
have them
served
in the
as a
military in other
congresswoman from
roles,
Hawaii, as a
it's like when they
Democrat,
had
I
that
might
submarine,
add,
and then they
part of
wanted
this
to have a
unique
bunch of women
coalition
in the
that President
submarine
Trump has
instead.
put together and
50-50
won
half
and got
men,
that
half women.
mandate. But I
The
think
amount
it's
of problems that
insulting.
could
It's a
arise
slur,
from
quite frankly.
relationships, sexual assault,
There's no evidence that
accusations
she's
of
a
sexual assault.
asset of another
There's so
country. She
much
served this country
that can
honorably.
happen.
And by the way,
Under
she cares
pressure,
deeply about
especially at
our
war, you
Constitution
wanna
and civil
minimize all
liberties
these
and
things.
making sure
I don't see a
people
problem.
aren't being targeted by these
We're not
intelligence
built the
agencies.
same.
So
Women are
again,
way better at
I
some
think this
things
is a
than men are.
reformer who can come in, who maybe is not part of the
Being
same
in
Washington
combat,
cocktail party
I would
circuit
say
that
that the
people in the
majority
intel
of the
community
time,
are used
men
to.
would be better.
But maybe that's
Let me know
exactly
your
what we
thoughts
need
in the
right now.
comment
President
section. I
Trump
thought this was a
listened
great
to the
interview.
American
I love
people
seeing Kristen
when they
Welker take
screamed
L's.
about these issues. They want to be
This
heard.
was
They
another
feel like
one.
Washington's broken,
Hopefully you enjoyed
and I think
it.
bringing
Smash that
somebody in
thumbs
like
up
Tulsi
button for your
Gabbard
viewers.
is a
There's
welcome
subscribe to the
news.
channel. Help it grow. Catch
So
you
you're a
on the next
yes
one.
on
Peace out,
Tulsi
everybody.
Gabbard, Senator, just to be clear?